Yeah, good afternoon, one and all. Elective one, elective A, Indian economy. I'm going to talk. So, black one, understanding the Indian economy. What is the meaning of? What is the introduction of Indian economy? Indian economy talks about economic growth. Talks about the refer to increase of GDP in while economic development. It is considered broader aspects such as a life expectancy, literacy, and poverty rates. So, what is the objective of this growth of economy? To understanding the key aspect of India economy, including growth, development, and understand the development. So, what is the meaning of economic growth? So, definition of economic growth, it is increase in the monetary value of goods and services produced, and it is going to measured by the gross domestic product and gross national product. So, what is the factors influencing the growth? Generally, the economic growth, some factors are influenced. So, that is natural resources, human capital, physical capital, and entrepreneurship. So these factors can influence the economic growth. Next, what are the methods of economic growth? Increase the physical capital mm, and technology improvement and labor force growth and human capital development. So these four methods which is using for the methods of economic growth. So increased physical capital. So it means more tools, equipment improve the productivity. So physical capital means what? Whatever amount we are going to spend for establishment of infrastructure facilities. So that will cost to increase the physical capital. And technology improvement. So enhancement of methods and process. So nowadays, every company, everywhere, the maximum most of the people they are adapting the new technologies like AI. So if the technology improvement is there, automatically economic growth also will there. And next one is the low labor force growth. More workers lead to higher productivity. So some of the countries they are suffering with the labor less labor efficiency, and when there is supply of labor is very less, the productivity is going to be fall down. So labor, when the labor is available, so it is caused to increase the higher production. And human capital development, see, sometimes labor itself is not sufficient, so we require skilled labor also. So when the labors are there, if they are not skilled, it is not wasting of the time and wasting of the resources. When there is a skilled labor, then only it will be effectively we are going to produce the productivity. Next, economic development. Economic development. What is the meaning of economic development? So this is socio-economic progress, including technology advancement and better living standards. It is called as a economic development. So key indicators for the economic development. Already previous slide talks about the growth of the economics and economic growth. So this is also economic development, generally life expectancy and literacy rates, housing, healthcare, and per capita income. It is going to be indicate the economic development. And economic growth versus economic development. See, what is the meaning of economic growth? What is the meaning of economic development? So economic growth talks about the increasing of GDP. Okay. The economic growth talks about the increasing of GDP. And economic development talks about the improvement in quality of life. And scope, this economic growth is the quantitatively we are going to measure, and but economic development quantitative as well as qualitative also we are going to measure. So what is the process can involve? So economic growth, it is automatic, and economic development and planned and start. Yes, Akila, please mute yourself. Process. So economic growth automatic, and it is automatically happen. But economic development, it is planned and strategic way we are going to implement. Measurement of that measurement. So this economic growth we are going to measure with the help of the some variables, that is GDP, gross domestic product, GNP, gross national product, HDI, life human development infrastructures, life expectancy, literacy rates, So these all are we are going to consider to for the growing economic growth. And measurement of economic development, gross national product and gross national per capita, welfare measures and social indicators. See, social indicators includes that healthcare and literacy, etc. They are going to be included. So these are the measurement of economic developments. Excuse me 1 minute. Sir, Vachin sir. Uh, so characteristics of the underdevelopment. What are the characteristics of underdevelopment? So here's some variables we are going to consider for the underdevelopment: low income levels, mass poverty, and low income levels means what? When there is no income, that is the low income levels, mass poverty, and lack of capital formation. So if they when they are unable to creation of the capital form, when they are unable to collect the capital, when there is no capital, that is the one of the problem. High population growth and agriculture backwardness and unemployment, so poor infrastructure. Mm, these all are the features of the underdevelopment. Okay. Human development. What is the meaning of human development? So, expansion of human capabilities. It is called as a human development. So, human development index measures. So, there are three factors we are going to be consider here: life expectancy, educational levels, and standard living. So, these three will help to calculation of the measure of the human development index. And here, what are the challenges are there in the human development? Challenges: health disparities, education quality, and gender inequality. And what is the sustainable development goals? Sustainable development goals, SDGs. So there are 17 sustainable goals adapted by the UN in improving of global conditions by the 2030. This is they are going to focus areas: ending poverty and quality of it. They want to end the poverty, and they want to provide the quality of education, and there is no discrimination between the genders. So gender equality they want to provide, and clean energy and climate actions. These are the sustainable development goals for the which is improved by the UN and global condition by 2030. What are the resource structure in India? See, resource structure, generally natural resources are there. Okay, natural resources includes that land, water, forest, minerals, and land distribution is mountains includes 29%, places in 28%, plains 43 per plain land 43%. So type of resources, also we have two types of resources, that is renewable resources and non-renewable resources. And infrastructure in Indian economy. Types of infrastructure. See, infrastructure generally physical infrastructure is there and social infrastructure is there. Physical infrastructure talks about the transportation, energy, communication. So these all are physical facilities which are provided by the country, that is physical infrastructure. Social infrastructure means what? Education, healthcare, and welfare also. So these all are the social infrastructure. And what is the role of the infrastructure in Indian economy? To support the industrial and agriculture growth. So that is the reason this infrastructure is required. Is it clear? So these are the basic items which is required to know before studying of Indian economy. I will share the another PPT also. As per that syllabus, we are going to discuss. Yeah, see now. That black one we are going to talk. Okay. So whatever the previous slides I discussed with you all, that all are basics and fundamentals regarding the Indian economy. Now, first chapter we are going to discuss, that is an overview of economic growth and development and resources. So just I explained previously also. Again, we are going to discuss. Right. So what is the meaning of economic growth? So economic growth talks about the increasing of GDP. Is it clear? Economic growth talks about the increasing of GDP. What is the meaning of economic development? Economic development, it is a life expectancy, literacy, and poverty. So when these will changes, automatically economic development also happen. What is the objective of this chapter? So Indian economic growth and development, how to what is the Indian economic growth and trends and development and underdevelopment purpose. What is the underdevelopment? What is the meaning of underdevelopment? This we are going to discuss. And methods of economic growth. See, there are four methods are there: physical capital and technological improvement and labor force growth and human capital development. Physical capital means what? So where we are going to use the more tools for the better productivity. So that is physical capital. So physical capital is nothing but the amount which is investment for the machineries and which we are going to investment in the physical infrastructure facilities to improving of the country productivity. That is called as a physical capital. Technology improvement. Technology improvement, as I said before, technology improvements means adopting the new technology changes in our country for the growth of economy purpose and for giving of good productivity with our country. So that is technology improvement. And labor force growth. So labor force growth means what? When the more workers are available, so automatically the product it is going to be impacted on the productivity. If you face insufficient labors, your growth will be going to be decline. So here labor force also very important. Human capital development. Human capital development talks about the skilled workforce. So what is the economic development? Economic development talks about the socio-economic progress. Just wait. Yeah, right. So what is the methods of economic growth? Already explained. Next one is the economic growth versus economic development. So economic growth means it is increasing of growth indicates that increasing of GDP. So this is whatever GDP will happen, whatever GDP will fluctuate, whatever GDP will increase. automatically our economic growth also increase. So economic development means what? Quality of life. So this we can measure with the help of the qualitative items and quantitative items. So qualitative items means what? Quantitative items means what? Quantitative items like GDP increasing, GNP per capita, that all are we are going to be considered. But here quality of life means that is literacy, expectancy, and literacy and life expectancy, that education levels. This all are we are going to measure. Next one, measure of the economic development. So economic development, to measure that, we are going to take GNP, GNP per capita, welfare measures and social indicators like healthcare and literacy. These all are we are going to take. Characteristics of underdevelopment. So characteristic of underdevelopment. So generally, what are the variables we are going to consider when there is low income? So it is low income indicates that we are under level development. There is a mass poverty is there. That is also one of the feature of the underdevelopment. Lack of capital. So that is also one of the underdevelopment. Lack of capital means we are not able to raise the funds to create the companies and to improve the productivity. So that is also lack of capital. High population growth. So when the population growth is very high, the sufficient resources also the resources also it is not sufficient to distribute among the population. So high population growth also it is a one of the reason feature for the underdevelopment. And agriculture backwardness. Agriculture backwardness means what? When we are not able to do the agriculture sufficiently, that is agriculture backwardness. So, and next one is the unemployment. There is a literacy people are there, and their eligibility people are there, but when they not get the any employment for their qualifications, so it causes for the unemployment. And poor infrastructure, when we are not able to provide the minimum infrastructure facilities also, it causes for the underdevelopment. Human development it is indicated with the expansion of human development indicators with the we are going to measure life expectancy, education, and living standard. So the life expectancy, education, and living standards are satisfied, the human development is very good. Otherwise it is going to face the lot of problems and challenges. Health disparities and gender equalities. So in human development, the major challenges are health disparities means when we are healthy, then only we are able to work. When we are working, our productivity will increase. And if there is a inequality among the people also, it is main cause and for the it is very difficult to face the development, human development. So this already I explained. Now go through you according to your syllabus. Uh, share. See, this is talks about your syllabus only, your material I am sharing. In black one, we have the 3 units. That is introduction to economic development. Next one is the human development, and third unit is the resources structure. Now we are going to discuss black one total 3 units. See, whatever the slides I explained previously, that all are I am taking from here. The first chapter covers about the objectives and introduction, economic growth and economic development, measurement of economic development, meaning and characteristics of development. So what is the main objective of this chapter? So this chapter talks about the economic growth and economic development and characteristics under development. These all are whatever the previous slides I explained that only. And what is the meaning of what is the introduction of the economic growth? It can be measured through the increasing of GDP, already I told, and per capital income also we are going to take. And what is the exactly meaning of the economic growth? Economic growth is defined the raise of the money value of goods and services which is produced by the all the sectors of the economy per the during the particular period. So here simply you can understand that. So whatever that money raised with providing of goods and services and produced by the all the sectors, so that is in particularly one period, so that is called as a economic growth. So economic growth we can measure it is a quantitative item. Okay, it is a quantitative items. Generally, to measure that economic growth, we are going to consider a gross domestic product and gross national product. And what are the factors are influencing economic growth? Land and natural resources are available. So whatever land is there, whatever natural resources are there, and investment in human capital, investment in physical capital, and entrepreneurship. So these are the factors which can influence the economic growth. So okay, next. And economic development. Economic development taken into what is the meaning of economic development? Economic development is the process of increasing the volume of production along with the improvement of technology, raise the levels of living, institutional changes, etc. In short, it is the progress in socio-economic structure of the economy. Economic development usually refers to the adoption of new technologies and transition from the agriculture based to transformation from it is agriculture based to industry based economy, and generally improvement in the living standards. Is it clear? And economic development takes into the following information: average life expectancy we are going to consider, education standards we are going to consider, literacy rates we are going to consider, environmental standards we are going to consider, availability of housing and plus quality housing we are going to consider, access of healthcare, and income per capita. These all are economic development takes into account following information. What is the difference between economic growth and economic development? See, economic growth and economic development, uh, simply, already I showed that one slide. So that explanation also I'm clearly giving. Economic growth is the positive change. It is the real output of the country in particular span of time. So economic growth means what? Whatever our GDP is there, whatever our GNP is there in the particular year. So whatever changes is there in positive way from last year to this year, how much it is increasing. So that is economic growth. Economic development involves raising of levels production and economic along with the advancement technology and improvement of living standards and soon. So this is economic development. Economic growth is one of the feature economic development. See, whatever growth is there, this is also part of the economic development. Economic growth is a automatic process, but unlike economic development, which is outcome planned and result oriented basis only. And economic growth, we are unable to increase the we are in economic growth enables to increasing of indicators like GDP per capita income. But in other hand, economic development enables the improvement of expectancy rate and infant mortality rate and literacy rate and poverty rate. Economic growth can be measured with the positive change of the national income, whereas economic development can be there is an increase in real national income. And economic growth short term process which taken into account yearly growth of the economy. But if we talk about the economic development, it is the long term process. Economic growth applies to development of economies and guarantee the quality of the life, but as it is visible and useful, not necessary to immediately, and includes aspects of quality changes and creation of the condition for the condition continuation of that change. It is essential condition for the economic development to apply the developing countries also. So these are the just go through that. These are the differences between the economic growth and economic development. What is the measurement of economic development? To measure the economic development, we are going to follow the four methods. First one is the gross national product. Second one is the gross national per capita. Third one is the welfare. Fourth one is the social indicators. In gross national product, what we are going to be considered? GNP is the total value of all final goods and services produced within nation in particular year, plus income earned by the citizens, including income of those located abroad. And we are going to deduct income of the non-resident located in the country. Basically, this GNP measure value of goods and services of the country citizens produced regardless of the location. And GNP one of the one measure of the economic condition of the country. GNP per capita. This related to increasing of per capita real income of the economy over the long period. This indicated the economic growth emphasizing for the economic development. Welfare. Welfare talks about the economic development, often measured from the welfare point of view. From the this perspective, economic development is regarded as the process of whereby there is an increasing of consumption of goods and services by the individuals. So this talks about the welfare. Social indicators. Due to dissatisfaction with the GNP and GNP, sorry, this one is the GDP and GNP and GNP per capita. As measure of economic development, certain economists have tried to measure in terms of social indicators. Some indicators inputs, example, nutrition standards are number of hospitals, number of hospital beds and doctors per head population. So this is the social indicators which we have to measure the economic development. And meaning and characteristics of underdevelopment. So underdevelopment is nothing but a all economics worlds are not equally developed. Some are more developed, some are advanced than the others. Therefore, economic the world have classified into developed countries and underdeveloping countries. Previously underdeveloped economies were called backward economics, and the economics now economic developed economics were known as a advanced economics. But the term is backward and advanced are now considered as a unsatisfactory and misleading. Therefore, the terms of developed and underdeveloped began to use for the place of advanced and backwards. So previously we are using these words. Now we changed. We that the words are misleading to the understanding of economic growth. So that is the reason underdeveloped and developed words we consider. The some of the basic characters are there. Some 14 basic characters are there for the underdeveloped countries. Low income already I explained. Mass poverty already I explained. Lack of capital formation, heavy population pressure, agriculture backwardness, unemployed problems, unexploded natural resources, shortage of technology skills, and lack of infrastructure facilities, lack of industrialization, lack of proper market, illiteracy, and poor social economic condition, inefficient administration setup. So these all are causes for the underdevelopment of economy. And these are the model questions. You go through that. Okay. So this is the story of overview of the economic growth and development. Next one is the human development. Human development, we are this chapter main contents consists that introduction, meaning and definition, human development index, millennium development goals and sustainable development, and summary. See, human development, what is the objective of this chapter? This chapter main objective to understand the meaning of the human development and describe the human development index and explain the millennium development goals and mention the sustainable goals. Okay. So these three chapters I explained in the 12 slides, but for your clarity purpose, I am explaining from your study material. Son, human development is the science. The science that seeks to understand how and the way people all ages and circumstances changes the remain same over the time. It involves a study of the human condition with it is core being capability approach. So you can go through that. Exactly meaning of the human development. The term of human development may be defined as the expansion of human capabilities and widening of choice and enhancement of freedom and fulfillment of human rights. So this is the uh, at the beginning and the nation of human development incorporate needed increase the income expansion. Definition, go through that. A process of enlargement people of choices. So that is the definition. Component of human development. See, here equalities is there, sustainability is there, and productivity is there, and empowerment. These are the components of the human development. Equality means what? Without any discrimination. Sustainability means what? It is going to talk about the human development that is should be keep going, should be at last long. So it is not for the one particular generation. It is going to keep going for the more generations. Productivity, another component of human development, productivity which is required for the investment in the people. And empowerment people, particularly women, and com- components of the another components of the human development. In other words, genuine and human development requires the empowerment of meet the all aspects. You can go through this. Indicators of human development index. HDI talks about the indicators of human development index. See, there are criteria or indicators which represent the different aspects of good life, or the three goals of human development are there. First one is the longevity and educational knowledge and standard living. So these are the three indicators of the human development index. Go through once. So this is the chapter 2 talks about the human development, and chapter T talks about the resource and structure. So what are the resources are there? See, for every productivity depends on the resources only. If you have good resources, you are going to get the good productivity. Without resources, you cannot produce anything. So our total production goods and services depends on the our resources only. So resource structure also, we have different types of resources. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the understand the normal natural resources. It is explained by the land, forest, and waters and minerals, and analyze the environmental degradation, and describe the infrastructure like energy, power, and transportation, and state the concept of social infrastructure. So here, what is the meaning of natural resources? Some total of the all physical, chemical, biological, social. Sum of total of all physical, chemical, biological, social factors surrounding surrounding a man may be termed as a environment. Each element in the surrounding form resources on which is the human beings of depends upon the order of development of economically and socially a better system. Okay, this is the you can go through this. What is the classification of natural resources? See, classification of natural resources according to continual utility, that there is a two classification, renewable resources and non-renewable. According to origin, biotic resources and abiotic resources. Next one is the land. Next one is the land. Again, land, there are different types of lands are there. Okay. That is desert and forest and grassland and tundra. So this is the different types of lands are there. And fourth resource is forest, and that important forests are purification of atmosphere, climate control, habit animals, birds, and different layers of the forest floor and understory and canopy. So these are the various types of forest. Okay, tropical rainforest, subtropical forest, deciduous forest, temporary forest. So these all are various forests also there. Here, mainly we are going to focus on natural resources, that is land, water, forest, like that we are going to be concentrate in this chapter. So that all the resources depends on these natural resources only. That is the main thing we are going to be discuss. Okay. So whatever I showed that, whatever I showed that, this whatever 13 slides is there, these 13 slides are the, wait. Yeah. See, whatever these slides are there, that all the slides summary of the last 3 chapters only. Okay. Black one, first 3 chapters. This is the slides. If you observe, this all the points we covered under the black one. Okay. You go through that. Is it clear? Akila. Akila.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you want, I can send that slides also. Okay.
Okay, sir. Send.
Yeah. I will send. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So simple. These all are contents. If you go through these contents also, your total chapters also covered. So first slide talks about the introduction. Already 2 times I explained. So I will send that slides. Uh, from your textbook only I prepared this one. You go through once according to your textbook. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. And last class we discussed about the cost accounting. Do you attended that class?
No, sir.
Why you are not attended?
I was busy, sir, that time.
Okay.
In YouTube, it's there, sir. I'll listen.
Okay, but go through that. Again, I will take the classes also.
Okay, sir.
But you have to follow
The
that schedules.
first units I have attended, sir.
Sorry?
First and second block, 2 blocks I attended, sir. First.
But last block, third,
Method
fourth
of
also not
costing.
attended. No one is attended, not only yourself.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you
Fourth
can.
and fifth block.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If you want, I can explain that black that also.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Shall I explain now?
Okay, sir. Explain, sir. Block 4, sir.
Okay. What is the black for? Overheads. Okay.
Yes, sir. Overhead.
Yeah. Do you have textbook?
Yes, sir.
What is the page number of overheads chapter?
153, sir.
153. Right. I got it. Yeah. See, overheads means what? Overheads means aggregate of all indirect expenses. That is called as a overheads. Excuse me. Overheads means aggregate of all indirect expenses. So generally cost of elements already I explained in the last class. There are 3 elements are there in the cost of elements. That is material, labor and other expenses. So material also we have two types, that is direct material and direct material and indirect material. Next one is the direct labor and indirect labor. Third one is the other expenses, also direct expenses and other expenses, indirect expenses. So now overheads, when you are talking about the overheads, all indirect expenses, it is includes three elements of the cost. It includes indirect material, indirect labor. So that is called as a overheads or this is also one name, another name also there, on cost. Okay. So here we have to calculate the overheads. Yes. See, in this chapter, what we are going to do, right? Classification of overheads. So these overheads we classified nature of the expenditure, based on the nature of the expenditure, elements of expenditure, based on behavior, based on function. Classification. See, among these, among these, based on nature of the expenditure, alphabetical codes, numerical codes. Okay. Overheads can be classified into number specified heads and items similarly nature. So this is the only among this classification. Very important one is this major functions of business enterprise. We are going to follow this one only. So let us see the classification of behavioral. Second one is what classification of according to the elements expenditure, indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses, and classification according to behavioral expenditure, fixed overheads and variable overheads, and semi-variable overheads. Fixed overheads means what? That fixed overheads means that overheads cost is fixed. Okay, this is tend to remain, and it is not going to be unaffected. That whatever overhead is there, it is fixed for the particular item or particular period. Variable overheads means what? When the change of output, that overheads also will change. So that is variable overheads. Semi variable overheads means what? Automatically 50, some of the proportionate is fixed, some of the proportionate is unfixed. So that is called as a semi variable. Okay. So next one is the classification according to the functional functions where expenditure is made. So based on the functions, manufacturing overheads, administration overheads, selling and distribution overheads. So these three very important for the preparation of overheads and cost sheet. Manufacturing overhead means what? Whatever expenditure, whatever indirect expenditure we identified in the area of manufacturing. So that is all our manufacturing overheads. Administration overheads means what? So whatever expenses we identified in the administration side. See, we are producing one product. Where when we are producing, what is first of all, this all the overheads are the indirect expenses. So in manufacturing, overhead means what? Other than material, whatever we are going to use, whatever expenditure incurred other than main material, that all are indirect material and manufacturing overheads. And sometimes factory related all expenses also we are going to consider. So that is the manufacturing overheads. Administration overheads means what? To maintaining of office, some expenses are incurred. So that all are with part of the administration overheads. So that is the office. And once the production is completed, that product we need to sell, we need to send for the go downs and for selling purpose outside. So in Godam itself, we are not able to send the product. That products, once the production is completed, we are going to send for the selling purpose. So whatever expenditure incurred in the process of selling and distribution, so that all are we treated as a selling and distribution expenditure. And here, this is the nature of the different kinds of the overheads. Go through that. And factory overheads. Factory overheads, the again based on the functional overheads, factory overheads, first classification is factory overheads. This factory overheads also, these expenses, whatever expenses incurred, we have to allocate the expenditure particular production department. So for example, here some expenditure types of expenditure they given, and base for the allocation also given. So depreciation, repairs, maintenance of the factory building, they allotted based on the capital value of the asset. Lighting expenses, we are going to distribute the number of light points. Heating expenses, we are going to distribute the floor space area. This rent rates and power insurance also based on the floor area. And power is the horsepower of the kilowatts and horsepower based to all of these power expenses we are going to allocate base of this one. So supervision and canteen welfare expenses based on the number of employees. See here, simply what we are going to do here, they are going to give the expenses, that expenses we are going to allocate related to the production area. If you observe that illustration number 1, rent rates, they given some problem. The apportion the following expenses between the department X and department Y. There are two departments, some expenses also they given. So for that expenses we have to allocate according to this model. Rent and rates, total amount 420 rupees. Insurance is 300 rupees. Store expenses 800 rupees. And general factory labor expenses are 1600. Fire insurance is 300. And depreciation is 900. See, these all are expenses, means these items. And for X, for Y, we have this all expenses are uh, total expenses of X and Y. For X, for Y, we have to allocate. Okay. So how we are going to allocate? They given some clues here. So for floor space. So for example, here rent and rates is there. 420 is there. So 60 into 100 square feet and 45 into 100, whatever value is there. That 420 we have to distribute according to this 60 into 40 and 45 into 100 square feet. And next one is the insurance. Insurance also, it is based on the number of employees. It the help here, see here solution also they given. Rent cost, that is 420 rupees is there, that is allocated to X for 240 and 180. And insurance based on the plant value, 300 rupees, 250 rupees for the X and 50 rupees for the Y. So all the expenses we have to distribute according to this one. And next problem also they given some expenses, and this expenses also we have to adjust with the this all are the base points for the allocation of these expenses. You you go through this. See, rent, floor area. Shall I explain one example here? See, hello.
Okay, like explain, sir.
Yeah. For example, here, what is the rent cost is there here? 1600 is there. Okay. This rent, how we are going to allocate? Generally, rent always we are going to take floor space. So here, this 1600 for department A, 600 for department B, 440 for service department 360 for service department 5, 200. How they allocated? Here they given. See, rent 1600 given. Here, space where they given. Here they give. Area means rent based on area. 3 is to 2, 3 is to 2.2 is to 1.8 is to 1. So based on this proportionate we are going to take. Do you have calculator?
No, sir.
It's just simple. So this A 300 square meters, B 2200 square meters. So I will explain. What is the total of this 3000 and see, This proportionate I am reducing, avoiding of with the help of avoiding these two zeros. 30 is to 20 is to 18 is to 10. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So now what is the total of that? 30, 30 is 30 plus 22 plus 18 plus 10. Total is equal to 80. Is it clear? Total 8,000 square meters. That rent is 1600.
Mm.
1600 into A, how much? 3000 square meters divided by 8,000 square meters. How much they got? 600 they got. Is it
Yes.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Like that, we have to distribute for all production departments and service
Same
departments.
like that only we have to do, sir.
Yes,
For all.
all expenses. Here, item is what? What is the base? So that distribution is, this is the base. So this first item is in takes this one is the expenses. These
Okay.
expenses we have to distribute for A and for B and service department X and service department Y. So these are the items which are for the base for the allocation of expenditure. Is it clear?
Okay, sir. First
And
we
next,
have
yes,
first we have to do that 30 plus 22 plus 18 plus 10.
yes, yes, yes.
That plus number we have to divide it with 1600, 16,000.
Yeah, not 16,000.
Mm-hmm.
Here, expenses we are going to allocate. Expenses, what is that? Here, for example, supervision expenses 6,000 is there.
Yes.
This 6,000 we have to allocate for the A, B, X, Y. Supervision, how we are going to allocate? Base number of employees. 80 is to 60 is to 40 is to 20. This 6,000 into 80 divided by this all the total. What is the total? 200.
Yes.
So for example, that supervision 6,000 is there.
Mm.
6,000 into for A distribution. 6,000 into 80 for A divided by total 200.
Okay.
Total how much? Out of the 6,000, A cost 2,400. Where is that supervision here? See, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So like that, the 6,000 based on number of persons proportionate after distribution 2,400, 800 and 1,200 and 600. So
Okay.
this rent based on floor area, repairs based on plant and value, depreciation plant value, lighting number of units, power kilowatts, supervision number of employees, ESI also number of employees, canteen expenses also number of employees. So like that expenses we have to allocate.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
After that, we have to do all the total.
Yes, yes, that's it.
Okay.
This is apportionment method. This is called apportionment method.
Okay.
Next one is method of reapportionment method. So I will tell you, no, nothing to worry.
Okay.
Uh, okay.
Okay, sir.
You
Once
don't.
I'll revise this.
Yeah, you go through that. Once you will get any doubt,
Sir,
you
any
can.
important questions?
Yeah, you can. You can. I will tell you. Okay, nothing to worry.
Okay.
You can approach me.
Okay, sir.
I will give the importance and how to prepare also. I will guide you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, actually, you people are not attending regular classes. That is the reason I'm not able to get where I have to start, where I have to explain.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, and means sometimes they are keeping links in group. Sometimes no one is not responding in group. That's why.
You people need to contact them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you want, I will give my contact. You can contact me. I will guide you how to prepare the exams.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you tell me your contact number?
Sorry.
Number, sir. Number, contact number.
9010
9010
336 336.
double three six. Okay. Sir, any
Okay.
important questions? I'll message you, sir, in WhatsApp.
Yeah, no problem. No problem, Amma.
Um, can you
Okay.
send, sir?
Yeah,
Important
yeah. You can contact me. I will tell you how to prepare.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Srikanth Reddy. Is okay?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Next class onwards, you come regularly. I will
Okay,
explain both Indian economy and cost accounting.
okay, sir.
Right.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Right.